If you've ever stood in the pet food aisle, staring at dozens of bags, wondering which one will actually keep your dog healthy, you're not alone. It's the single most common question I get asked. I'm Stephen Whitlow, and I've worked with dogs and their families for over 20 years. You're listening to the Pet Parent Podcast. Quick note before we dive in. All the research, data, and writing in this episode comes from real experts who verified everything you're about to hear, but the voice delivering it is AI generated. Just wanted to be upfront about that. If you're a regular listener here, thank you for coming back. Seriously, it's great having you along for these episodes. And if you're new to the show, welcome aboard. We release new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, covering all aspects of pet care. Today, we're tackling one of the most common questions dog owners face: how to actually choose the right food for your dog. Let's jump into it. The right food can genuinely transform your dog's life. We're talking better energy, a healthier coat, stronger joints, and sometimes even improvements in behavior. But learning how to choose dog food isn't about grabbing whatever's on sale or has the cutest packaging. It's about understanding what your specific dog needs right now at their current life stage. Whether you've got a bouncing puppy, an active adult, or a senior dog with special requirements, this guide will walk you through exactly what to look for, what to avoid, and how to make decisions you can feel confident about. No prior nutrition knowledge needed, just practical information any dog owner can use. You'll need about 20 to 30 minutes to read through this and understand the process, plus whatever time you want to spend researching specific brands afterward. Before you start evaluating options, it helps to gather some information. You'll want your dog's current weight and an honest assessment of their body condition. Know their age and life stage: puppy under 12 months, adult from 1 to 7 years, or senior 7 and up. Figure out their breed size category: toy or small breeds under 20 pounds, medium 20 to 50 pounds, large 50 to 90 pounds, giant over 90. If your dog has any known health conditions or allergies, get that information from your vet. Think about their activity level. Are they sedentary, moderately active, or constantly on the go? Grab your dog's current food bag so you can look at the ingredient list and guaranteed analysis panel. You'll want access to information about AAFCO dog food standards. Be realistic about your budget range. What can you comfortably sustain long term? If your dog has had digestive issues with certain foods in the past, make a list of those. And bring your smartphone or a camera when you go shopping so you can photograph ingredient labels. Let's start with the basics that never change. Your dog's age and size determine their fundamental nutritional requirements more than anything else. Puppies, that's birth to 12 months for most breeds, up to 24 months for giant breeds, need significantly more calories, protein, and specific minerals like calcium and phosphorus because they're growing so rapidly. Large and giant breed puppies have special considerations here. Too much calcium or too many calories can actually cause developmental orthopedic problems. You want food specifically labeled for large breed puppy growth. I've seen too many well-meaning owners inadvertently cause joint problems by feeding high-protein adult food or adding inappropriate supplements to their growing large breed pups. Adult dogs, from 1 to 7 years for most breeds, need maintenance nutrition that matches their activity level. A working border collie needs vastly different caloric density than a couch potato bulldog. This is where most dogs spend the majority of their lives, so getting this right really matters. Senior dogs, 7 years and up, sometimes 5 and up for giant breeds, benefit from foods with adjusted protein levels, added joint support ingredients like glucosamine and chondroitin, and often lower calorie density since metabolism slows with age. Some seniors need more easily digestible proteins and added fiber. Size matters because small dogs have faster metabolisms and often need calorie-dense foods in smaller kibble sizes they can actually chew. Giant breeds need controlled growth formulas and joint support throughout their lives. If you're feeding a large breed puppy, it's worth checking out recommendations for large breed puppy nutrition. It can save you from common mistakes. Now let's talk about the ingredient list and what really matters. The ingredient list tells you what's actually in the bag, listed by weight before cooking. This is where learning how to choose dog food gets practical. The first 5 ingredients make up the bulk of the food. You want to see specific animal proteins in those top spots: chicken, beef, salmon, turkey, lamb, not generic terms like meat mill or animal byproduct. Here's the thing though, ingredients are listed by weight before processing, so chicken includes all that water weight. After cooking, it might actually provide less protein than the chicken mill listed fourth. Protein sources should be identifiable. Chicken mill is fine. It's concentrated protein with the water removed. Poultry mill is vague and lower quality. Chicken byproduct mill can actually be nutritious despite its bad reputation, but I prefer foods that don't rely on it as a primary protein. Dogs are opportunistic carnivores, not obligate ones like cats, so they do well with some plant proteins, but animal protein should dominate. Whole ingredients signal quality. Whole chicken, sweet potatoes, brown rice, peas, carrots, these are recognizable. When you see multiple forms of the same ingredients split across the list, like corn, corn gluten mill, and ground corn all appearing separately, that's often done to push corn lower in the list while it's actually a major component. Not necessarily terrible, but worth noting. Fats and oils should also be specific. Chicken fat, salmon oil, flaxseed. Animal fat is too vague. Omega-3 fatty acids from fish oils support coat health, brain development in puppies, and anti-inflammatory properties for seniors. I recommend checking an ingredient checklist to see which additives and fillers to watch out for. Things like BHA, BHT, ethoxyquin, and excessive artificial colors serve the manufacturer more than your dog. Moving on to the Guaranteed Analysis Panel and AAFCO statement. Every dog food bag has a Guaranteed Analysis Panel, those percentages that look like a chemistry assignment. Here's what you actually need to know. Crude protein should be minimum 22% for puppies and 18% for adult dogs, though most quality foods exceed this. Active dogs do well with 25 to 32%. Don't just chase the highest number. Digestibility matters more than raw percentage. A food with 28% highly digestible animal protein often outperforms one with 35% plant-based protein. Crude fat should be minimum 8% for puppies and 5% for adults, but again, most good foods offer more. Fat provides energy and aids nutrient absorption. Puppies typically do well with 15 to 20%, active adults with 12 to 18%, and less active or overweight dogs with 8 to 12%. Fiber typically ranges from 2 to 4% for most dogs. Higher fiber, around 6 to 8%, helps with weight management and some digestive issues. Very high fiber can interfere with nutrient absorption. Moisture content affects everything else. Canned food at 78% moisture means only 22% is actual nutrients, while dry kibble at 10% moisture packs more nutrition per pound. You can't directly compare protein percentages between wet and dry without converting to dry matter basis, which involves math most of us don't want to do. The AAFCO statement is the most important part of the label. It should say the food provides complete and balanced nutrition and specify which life stage, growth, maintenance, or all life stages. This tells you the food has either passed feeding trials or meets nutrient profiles for that stage. Foods without this statement are not complete diets. Understanding AAFCO standards removes a lot of the guesswork from choosing quality food. Now, let's consider special health needs and dietary restrictions. This is where how to choose dog food becomes personalized. Generic advice stops working when your dog has specific issues. Food allergies and sensitivities are common. True allergies usually involve immune responses to specific proteins. Chicken, beef, dairy, and eggs are frequent culprits. Sensitivities might involve grains or other ingredients. If your dog shows signs like chronic ear infections, itchy skin, hot spots, or digestive issues, a limited ingredient diet or novel protein source like venison, duck, or kangaroo might help. Some dogs do well on grain-free formulas, though the connection between grain-free diets and dilated cardiomyopathy, or DCM, in some dogs has made this category more complex. Talk to your vet before going grain-free long-term.
Weight management is critical. Over half the dogs I work with are overweight. This affects joints, longevity, and quality of life. Weight control formulas typically have higher fiber, lower fat, and added L-carnitine to help maintain lean muscle during weight loss. But here's something I've learned. Sometimes the better solution is simply feeding less of a quality food rather than switching to a low-grade diet formula. Joint issues in large breeds, seniors, and dogs with arthritis benefit from added glucosamine, 300 to 500 milligrams per day, chondroitin, MSM, and omega-3 fatty acids. Many senior dog foods include these supplements built in. Digestive sensitivities respond well to easily digestible proteins, probiotics, prebiotics, and sometimes novel carbohydrate sources. I've seen dogs with chronic soft stools improve dramatically just by switching from chicken-based to fish-based formulas. Medical conditions like kidney disease, liver problems, diabetes, or pancreatitis require prescription diets formulated by veterinary nutritionists. Don't try to DIY these situations with over-the-counter foods. Let's talk about deciding between dry, wet, fresh, and raw food formats. The format you choose affects everything from convenience to cost to dental health. There's no single right answer. Dry kibble is economical, convenient, and helps reduce tartar buildup through mechanical action. It stores easily and doesn't spoil quickly. The downsides, it's highly processed with high heat that can reduce nutrient availability, and some dogs just find it boring. If you're using an automatic feeder, kibble is usually your only practical option. Quality varies wildly. Premium kibbles use better ingredients and gentler processing than budget brands. Canned wet food is highly palatable, provides hydration, and contains fewer processing fillers. It's excellent for picky eaters, dogs with dental issues, and seniors. The catch, it's expensive per calorie, needs refrigeration after opening, and doesn't help with dental health. The wet versus dry debate has merits on both sides. Fresh or refrigerated foods, brands like Farmer's Dog, Nom Nom, or Ollie, use minimally processed human-grade ingredients with no artificial preservatives. They're nutritionally excellent and highly digestible. They're also expensive, require freezer space, and need planning for feeding schedules. Some require subscription delivery. These often meet human-grade standards that exceed typical pet food manufacturing. Raw diets, like BARF or Prey model, have passionate advocates. The theory, dogs evolved eating raw meat, bones, and organs. The reality, nutritional balance is difficult to achieve. Bacterial contamination risks are real for both dogs and humans in the household, and there's limited peer-reviewed research supporting health benefits over balanced commercial foods. If you go this route, work with a veterinary nutritionist to formulate recipes properly. Combination feeding works well for many dogs. Kibble as the base, with wet food toppers for palatability and variety. I feed my own dogs this way. Just account for all calories when portioning to prevent weight gain. Next up, evaluating brand reputation and manufacturing standards. Not all dog food companies are created equal. Some have been around for decades with consistent quality control. Others are new brands with excellent formulations. Some have had multiple recalls. This matters. Research the manufacturer. How long have they been in business? Do they own their manufacturing facilities or contract production? Companies that own facilities typically have better quality control.
Have they had recalls? A single recall isn't automatically disqualifying. What matters is how they handled it and whether it indicates systemic problems. Check for transparency. Good companies readily provide information about ingredient sourcing, quality control procedures, and nutritional philosophy. If you can't find clear information about where ingredients come from or how the food is made, that's a red flag. Look for expertise. Does the company employ veterinary nutritionists with PhDs or board certifications? Nutritional formulation is complex. Having actual experts designing recipes matters more than marketing claims. Consider certifications and testing. Some manufacturers exceed minimum requirements with third-party testing, human-grade facility certifications, or organic ingredients. These cost more but provide additional assurance. Test customer service responsiveness. Try calling or emailing the company with questions. Good companies have knowledgeable staff who can answer specific questions about their products. I've seen too many owners choose foods based solely on clever marketing or attractive packaging. The bag's claims matter less than what's inside and who made it. Understanding comprehensive nutrition guides helps you see through marketing to actual quality indicators. Here's something nobody wants to talk about but absolutely affects how to choose dog food: cost. The most nutritious food in the world doesn't work if you can't afford to feed it consistently. Calculate actual cost per day, not per bag. A $60 bag that lasts 45 days costs $1.33 per day. A $35 bag that lasts 15 days costs $2.33 per day. Higher quality foods are typically more calorie-dense and digestible, so you feed less. I've watched owners switch from a budget food to a premium one and discover they're spending only 30% more despite the bag costing double because they're feeding half as much. Factor in your dog's size and appetite. A 120-pound Mastiff eating 6 cups daily has vastly different feeding costs than a 12-pound Terrier eating half a cup. Calculate the monthly cost, cups per day times 30 days, divided by cups per bag equals bags per month times price per bag. Consider the long-term health investment. Better nutrition often means fewer vet bills for obesity-related issues, skin problems, and digestive troubles. This isn't just marketing. I've seen it play out hundreds of times. That said, expensive doesn't automatically mean better. Some mid-priced foods from established manufacturers outperform boutique brands charging premium prices. Set a realistic budget you can maintain. Dogs eat every day for years. Buying the most expensive food for 3 months, then switching to cheap food when money gets tight, isn't better than feeding a consistent mid-tier food. Consistency matters for digestive health and nutritional balance. Watch for unnecessary supplements. If you're feeding a complete and balanced diet appropriate for your dog's life stage, you probably don't need to add supplements, unless addressing a specific diagnosed condition. Extra supplements can create imbalances and waste money. Now for the final step, test the food with your dog and monitor results. All the research in the world means nothing if your actual dog doesn't thrive on the food. This is where theory meets reality. Transition slowly over 7 to 10 days when switching foods. Mix increasing amounts of the new food with decreasing amounts of the old. Quick changes cause digestive upset in most dogs. Watch for digestive responses. Healthy dogs on appropriate food have firm, well-formed stools, typically 2 to 4 times daily, depending on how often they eat. Loose stools, excessive gas, or difficult-to-pass hard stools indicate the food isn't working. Give it 3 to 4 weeks. Sometimes there's an adjustment period. Monitor energy levels. Dogs on the right food have consistent energy appropriate for their age and breed. Sluggishness after meals, hyperactivity, or lethargy can indicate poor digestibility or inappropriate caloric density. Check coat and skin condition. A healthy coat is shiny and smooth, not dull, brittle, or excessively shedding. Skin should be free of hot spots, excessive dandruff, or constant itching. Coat quality often improves within 6 to 8 weeks on better nutrition. Track weight and body condition. You should be able to feel your dog's ribs easily without seeing them prominently, except in naturally lean sighthound breeds. There should be a visible waist when viewed from above and an abdominal tuck when viewed from the side. Weigh monthly and adjust portions based on results, not just the feeding guidelines on the bag. Notice behavioral changes. While food isn't magic for behavior problems, I've seen reactive dogs calm down once their digestive discomfort was resolved, and lazy dogs become playful once they started getting proper nutrition. Training is my specialty, and I can tell you that a well-nourished dog is easier to train because they feel better and can focus. Be willing to adjust. If after 8 to 12 weeks your dog isn't thriving, good energy, healthy coat, ideal weight, solid stools, try something else. There's no single perfect food for all dogs. What works for your neighbor's Labrador might not work for yours. Let me share some pro tips and common mistakes I've noticed after 2 decades of watching people feed dogs. Don't chase trends blindly. Grain-free, ancient grains, raw, boutique brands, trends come and go. Some have merit, others are pure marketing. The recent DCM concerns with grain-free foods containing legumes and potatoes as primary ingredients remind us that newer isn't automatically better. Base decisions on your individual dog's needs and solid nutritional science, not Instagram influencers. Avoid frequent switching for variety. Unlike humans, dogs don't need menu variety for psychological satisfaction. Their digestive systems thrive on consistency. Constantly rotating foods can cause GI upset and makes it impossible to identify which food caused problems if they develop. That said, occasional rotation between 2 or 3 quality foods can prevent protein sensitivities from developing. Just do it slowly and stick with each for several months. Read beyond marketing claims. Natural, holistic, and premium aren't regulated terms and mean virtually nothing. Grain-free doesn't mean carb-free. Most replace grains with potatoes or legumes. Real chicken could be the first ingredient, but if it's followed by 4 grain products, the food is still primarily grain. Learn to read the actual ingredient list. Don't over-supplement. Too much calcium damages growing bones in large breed puppies. Excessive vitamin D causes toxicity. If your food is complete and balanced for your dog's life stage, supplements are usually unnecessary unless treating a diagnosed deficiency or condition. Measure food accurately. Use an actual measuring cup, not the coffee mug that's about a cup. Feeding recommendations on bags are starting points. Adjust based on your individual dog's metabolism and activity level. I've seen dogs gain significant weight because owners were eyeballing portions that were actually 30% more than intended. Consider training treats in daily calories. If you're actively training, those treats add up. They should comprise no more than 10% of daily calories. For puppies in heavy training, using low-calorie options prevents weight gain while maintaining motivation. Let's tackle some frequently asked questions. Should I choose grain-free dog food or grain-inclusive formulas? Choose grain-inclusive formulas unless your dog has a diagnosed grain allergy, which is actually quite rare. Most food allergies in dogs involve proteins like chicken or beef, not grains. The FDA has investigated a potential connection between grain-free diets high in peas, lentils, and potatoes with dilated cardiomyopathy, or DCM, in certain breeds, particularly golden retrievers and other large breeds. While the research is ongoing and not conclusive, most veterinary nutritionists currently recommend grain-inclusive formulas using ingredients like brown rice, oats, and barley, unless there's a specific medical reason to avoid grains. Whole grains provide beneficial fiber, vitamins, and minerals that support digestive health. How do I know if my dog food is high quality without spending a fortune? High-quality dog food has specific named animal proteins in the first 3 ingredients, an AAFCO statement confirming it's complete and balanced for your dog's life stage, no artificial colors or vague ingredients like meat meal or animal digest, and comes from a manufacturer with transparent sourcing and no recent recalls. You don't need the most expensive boutique brand. Many mid-priced foods from established companies like Purina Pro Plan, Hill's Science Diet, and Royal Canin employ veterinary nutritionists and conduct feeding trials, offering excellent nutrition at reasonable prices. Calculate cost per feeding rather than per bag, and watch your individual dog's response. Healthy coat, good energy, ideal weight, and solid stools tell you more than the price tag. Can I mix wet and dry dog food together, or should I feed them separately? You can absolutely mix wet and dry dog food together, and many dogs benefit from combination feeding. The dry food provides dental benefits and convenience, while the wet food increases palatability and hydration. Just ensure you're accounting for the total calories from both sources to prevent overfeeding. A useful approach is calculating your dog's daily caloric needs, then splitting those calories between wet and dry based on your preferences. For example, 70% from kibble and 30% from canned food mixed together at mealtime. Both should be complete and balanced for your dog's life stage, and stick with similar protein sources to minimize digestive upset, especially when first introducing this feeding method. How often should I switch my dog's food brand or formula?
Switch dog food only when there's a specific reason. Your dog enters a new life stage, like moving from puppy to adult or adult to senior. They develop health issues requiring dietary changes. They're not thriving on the current food despite adequate time to adjust, around 8 to 12 weeks, or the brand has quality control issues or recalls. Dogs thrive on dietary consistency, and frequent switching causes digestive upset and makes it impossible to identify which food works best. If your current food is working, your dog maintains ideal weight, has a healthy coat, good energy, and solid stools, there's no benefit to switching. Some owners rotate between 2 or 3 quality foods every few months to prevent developing sensitivities, but this should be done gradually and isn't necessary for most dogs. Learning how to choose dog food comes down to understanding your individual dog's needs based on their age, size, activity level, and health status, then matching those needs with foods that have quality ingredients, proper AAFCO certification, and transparent manufacturing standards. Start by determining your dog's life stage and size category, then read ingredient lists and guaranteed analysis panels to evaluate protein quality and nutritional adequacy. Consider any special health needs like allergies, weight management, or joint support, and decide which food format fits your lifestyle and budget. Research manufacturers for quality control and expertise, calculate actual daily feeding costs, and most importantly, monitor your dog's response. Coat quality, energy levels, stool consistency, and body condition tell you if you've made the right choice. Good nutrition isn't about the most expensive food or the trendiest formula. It's about consistent, appropriate nutrition that helps your specific dog thrive for years to come.
That wraps up this episode of the Pet Parent Podcast. Thanks for spending this time learning how to make better nutrition decisions for your dog. We'll be back with a new episode Monday, Wednesday, and Friday every week. If this episode helped you out, I'd really appreciate it if you'd leave us a 5-star rating and write a quick review. It genuinely makes a difference because it helps other pet parents find the show when they're searching for this kind of practical advice. And go ahead and hit subscribe or follow so you get notified the second a new episode drops. Your dog deserves the best nutrition you can provide, and now you know how to figure out what that actually means.